Keith Thurman takes a lot of credit for matchmaking this fight, saying that he's the one that said
I ain't never heard
fight
that.
Amir Khan.
Bomack, the longer that Terence is at 147...
You asked too many questions the other day. I'm not asking.
Come on, I just the first one today. Look, the longer that he's at 147, is it worse for the other champions that he's getting more acclimated at this weight every time?
It's worse for them. It's been worse for them since the amateurs. Because they know they couldn't beat him in the amateurs.
Is he acclimated to 147 yet, or is he still?
Man, Terrence could have been at 147, but me and Coach right here, we figured let's get the most out of him at 35. Let's do it at 140 and at 47. I mean, who was pulling his arm to make 35? You know what I'm saying? So when he was making 140, he was steadily growing. And so after he unified there, you stand around at 140. He can walk around and be happy as much as he wants. So he could have been at 47. Bean could have been there.
Now, seeing you guys successful against Amir Khan, are you going to push for the Errol Spence fight?
The world's going to push for a Spence fight. The world is.
Once upon a time, Bud held Keith as the guy, in his words, in the ESPN interview. Is that, in your view, still the guy?
No, he is the guy.
That guy is Errol Spence?
Right now, it's Terrence is the guy.
I mean, outside of Crawford.
I don't know. I don't really look at none of the rest of them.
Who was the toughest challenge, you think, as a trainer for Terence Crawford?
Terence Crawford.
Back when Terrence was at lightweight, I mean, I don't think anybody could have imagined he would have met up with Amir Khan. What was your opinion of Amir Khan at that point in time?
I didn't look at him at that time. I don't look at other fighters until the time they get on the talking block.
Is there anything Amir Khan does better than Terence Crawford, in your opinion?
Probably pray better.
Everything. Hey, Bo, drop the knowledge. When was Terence Crawford the first time when he walked in the gym? How old was he when he started boxing? What brought him to 7 years old.
Yeah.
And what brought him to the world of boxing?
It's in his bloodline. His dad was a boxer. His uncle was a boxer. His grandfather was a boxer.
As a trainer, what is the toughest thing to deal with Terence Crawford? Is it trying to get him to come out the gym? You know, because
what's the toughest thing to deal with Bud?
That was what?
The toughest thing. What you think?
I don't know, man. He do everything easy.
But I mean, is it tough to pull him back? Do you got to be like, that's enough today? You know, relax.
I think at this point now he knows his body, and one good thing about us as we do as a team, we talk a lot. We talk about the workouts before they happen. We talk about the sparring sessions before they happen. We talk about what we need to see. You know what I'm saying? So when we do it, if he want to go a little bit faster, that's fine. That's okay. You know what I'm saying? That just shows us where he's at. When he was when he was younger, coming up, he was feeling to his own. Like he used to drink a Sprite, or chips and dip. What you having that stuff for? It just make you more thirsty. So, but as far as boxing goes, nothing, man. Dude is a beast. He's a beast.
Hey, bro, what was his amateur record? How many fights he had?
I think he had like 70, 75, maybe 80 amateur fights. He probably lost about 6.
Now, do you guys work on him being a switch hitter the way he is?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, we go 20 minutes regular, we go 20 minutes out.
And that's been from the beginning?
From day one.
There's a lot of narratives in boxing. Spence, when he fought Mikey, he had a point to prove with outboxing him. Khan's been knocked out. We've seen that done already. Paulie Malignaggi's been one of the guys who said, nobody can really outbox Amir Khan. Amir Khan doesn't get outboxed. Is that something that's going to be a goal?
But see, the good thing about this, I promise you this, if Khan think he can outbox Terrence, that's doing nothing but challenging him. And Terrence loves a challenge. So if you think you're going to outbox me, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you, motherfucker, that I'm going to outbox you. You think you're more powerful than me, I'm going to show you that I can crack your ass. You know what I'm saying? Remember, what's Jeff Horn? They said how big Jeff Horn was, and Terrence was too small. Who was pushing who? You know what I'm saying? Who was pushing who, then cracking him?
What would be more impressive for you? Like a thorough masterclass from
Drop
Crawford?
him in his corner, and then he asked a Virgil Hunter, can he help? Can you get me up?
Come over here.
Yeah, bro.
Virgil! Get up, son!
Oh, man.
I see Virgil running, I think.
Don't post that, man. I don't
We live now.
How important is this fight?
It's important. Every fight is important. Every fight is important. There's no fight that we take because boxing can be changed in one punch. If you're not aware and you go in there half-assed, you might get caught.
All right, thanks, guys. We're gonna come
Thank you.
Last question for both. Hey, both. Last question. Do you guys look at the opponent and say, listen, we're going to go in southpaw, or he just makes the decision?
No, you got to feel it. You got to feel it. You know what I'm saying? There's times like when I was like, man, dude, you know, you should have switched when I asked you. He was like, boy, I just didn't feel it. You know what I'm saying? And we seen it one way, but you got to think about something. Because what we see and what he see in there is two different things. You know what I'm saying? Or how he feel about this punch or that punch, or how is he pushing that dude. You know? So that's a good thing about three coaches.
What do you see him more comfortable in, the southpaw or the orthodox?
It all depends on how the fight is going.
Now, any chip on your shoulder?
My chip?
Yeah, from a coaching standpoint, being the Virgil Hunter is so acclimated and has so many accolades, is there...
Virgil, like 70 years old, ain't he? So I'm only like 48 years old, right? So he's been in the game probably much longer than I have. And what he's did with Andre Ward, I think we was just barely starting. Yeah, it was barely starting. So, I mean, of course, coach is going to go to him. Of course, he's going to get more world champion because it's a trend. We a trend now. You know what I'm saying? We about to have Jamel Herring fight for a title. He wins that title. Guess what? More fighters going to start coming. So it's a trend.
Now, do you get a lot of people trying to come to you to learn how to switch it?
No.
Like Terrence?
No.
I got a question, Bo. Does he write with his left hand? Was he born real southpaw?
No, he right
He
with
just switched it up like that, learned it on his own.
I would think you teaching them from young, you would get a lot of people that come to learn how to. I mean, it's such an advantage.
You like we got one guy in our team, right? His name is BT Newton, Lawrence Newton. Y'all see him, he's the first fight out, right? Mm-hmm. So I seen him in the amateurs. I seen him switch back and forth. So a couple years went by, then we finally caught him together again. Mm-hmm. So when he finally did come to camp, I didn't say nothing about switching. He switched, and I noticed it. Okay, all right, since I know how to work past both styles, I'm going to go ahead and work with him. And so we got our strength and conditioning coach. He keeps the time. Whatever, if we doing 2 minutes, we doing 3 minutes or a minute and a half, he always say half. And then I'll have him switch. Now, some other fighters can't do that. You know, Herring can't do that. Red Spikes can't do that. Steve Nelson can do it though. You know, he can switch. All right. Hey, listen, do me a favor, y'all. Red, sit down. Saul don't want to talk.
I'm trying to avoid this shit.
I'm going in this one over here.
All right, what y'all want, man?
Everything. You wanna know everything, right?
So why you not talking?
That's really out there. He said he'd rather just hang out.
Yeah, I try to skip that shit. What's up? And I don't sit like this. I'm not Bomack. That's Bomack. So what's up, y'all? I'm just messing with y'all. What's up?
So I was asking Bomack, you know, why a lot of fighters don't come, and try to learn how to switch head, like Bud, because it's such an advantage to be in the ring, Give us your thoughts on that.
My thoughts on it, well, the thing with Bud been doing that since he was like, 10? He been doing it forever, so it's like, it's not nothing you could just come in, hey, I want to learn how to switch. It gotta be years to learn it, because offensively you can do it, anybody can do it, but defensively it's hard because the punch is coming at a different angle. So you gotta get used to, like, if you slip this way to slip a jab right-handed, if you left-handed you slip this way, you running into something. So it's just to me it's the defense. It's the defensive liabilities when it comes to switching.
Can you explain one thing? I've noticed a thing that most times fighters should never step into their punch. When Crawford does it, he steps in a position where he's always in an advantage.
Yeah.
How do you teach someone who's stepping in and stepping out, back and forth?
That's natural. That's natural, but it's about balance too. You know what I mean? It's about seeing what's open, anticipating, you know, other guys' rhythm. You know, it's anticipation, it's timing, and it's just really experience. You know what I mean? It's really a lot of that is credit to him. You can teach guys stuff on the pads in the gym, and they get in the ring and they don't do nothing you taught. So really, it's a lot with him with that kind of thing. It's a feel that you got to feel and to come with his experience, I think.
You guys watch a whole bunch of old tapes, and if that, do you guys watch like southpaw specifically to develop the southpaw stance, and then you watch orthodox, or it's a combination of
I do
both?
watch the old fights, and I always keep learning too. He made some mistakes in the first fight, but you try to correct them.
Coach, who was your favorite fighters back in the days? Coach, who's your favorite fighters when you watch? What fights you
Favorite
like
fighters,
to watch?
I like Roy Jones. I like Pernell Whitaker, Mayweather, of course. James Toney. I love James Toney. Like, I talk to James Toney every now and then. You know what I mean? Like, James Toney, his style is great. Maurice Hooker. That's one of my current favorite
Camacho,
fighters.
when I watch Terence Crawford,
I
he got
love
that,
Macho
he
Camacho.
got that little flavor there. He got that
yeah.
Macho Camacho flavor in him, you know,
Oh,
that
yeah.
swag though, man,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
he's in that ring and that switch and everything.
Macho fast hands, real flamboyant. I love Hector Camacho. Rest in peace. You know what I mean, I loved Camacho. He's one of my favorites as well. I'm glad you brought that up.
I imagine you
got a
guys
question, one
all
second.
have a different personal relationship with Bud separately. What are some of the things that you do with Bud that maybe he doesn't do with the other coaches, and vice versa? Like maybe one of you watches films with him, maybe one of you has some downtime with him, movies, whatever it is, recovery. Is there anything
I don't know. We've been doing it so
unique?
long. I can't really specify what I do different.
Any inside jokes, anything unique that you share with Bud personally
We all
that
in
maybe
this.
Bomack
We
doesn't?
on jokes.
It's just like a family. It's like a family. Some joke a little bit more than the other one. I'm kind of quiet. I don't speak so much. But I kind of try to play with him.
Does Bud watch a lot of film? Does he watch film with you guys? Like old school stuff, maybe throwback fighting?
Not together, just every once in a while. You know,
Okay.
We don't watch fight together. Everyone, like he watches fight with his own, so he can learn something. I watch my own. Coach Bomack watch some fights, different fights, so we learn different things. So that's why we can put them together.
Are there ever any heated debates on classic fights? Or are you guys always in agreement? Okay,
No,
so
we're
what's a
not
heated
always
debate?
in
So what's a heated debate?
We are not
on a
always in
classic fight?
agreement. I mean, we got our own view of things, so you know. what I
Whether
mean?
recent or classic, like, what's a
Yeah,
heated
like
debate?
we go back and forth. We go back and forth with fights now. Like if certain fights on, we feel like this guy won. So I would feel like that guy won. I might have liked this, like that. Yeah, we argue about
Is there
it.
anything that comes to, like, anything recent, Spence Mikey, anything like that?
Spence Mikey was clear.
Clear, okay.
Yeah, that's
From the beginning. Let's go down to Mary Lane. Let's go to Mary
Let me
Lane.
turn this music down.
With
What do you listen
your
to? real
amateur.
quick, though?
This Jeremiah and Chris Brown right here.
Okay.
Let's go to Mary Lane. Let's go down to his amateur career. What was his best amateur fights that you've seen that he won? Who did he fight with that you remember?
The best fight that I've seen, like in person, I've seen a lot on tape that I wasn't there. Man, when he beat this guy from Nebraska, right? It was this big Martino.
Martin Ojeda.
Yeah, Martin Ojeda. He was a good boxer too. He's from Norfolk, Nebraska. He had won like a lot of junior titles, and he was ranked like he was like the Nebraska guy, like quote unquote. And Bud was doing just the same or even better, but this guy got all the notoriety because he was a banger. You know what I mean? Like he was come in there, walk you down, get you out of there. So, you know what I mean, everybody was, oh. So that was his first Golden Gloves, right?
When he was turned 17.
Yeah, when he turned 17, it was his first Golden Gloves. So this is the big matchup, and it was all this hype in the newspaper and shit like that. And everybody, you know, people was picking Martin to beat Bud. Oh, Martin, they fighting. Oh, you know, they think Bud gonna get beat. No, it was a masterful performance. It was
a banger.
He whitewashed him. Like, he outboxed me, he didn't even get touched barely, I don't think, man. And people was just like, oh my God. I think people started to realize, like, oh shit, we already knew. But then the people in Omaha, in Nebraska boxing, I mean, like, oh shit, this
Who's
kid.
this kid?
Yeah, they
Now
knew
they-
who he was, but
now they took
you know,
respect to him.
It was like, oh shit, you know, that was, to me, that was like a defining, like one of the defining and it was a great fight just because of the hype. It was a hyper ball around it.
How many young bucks you got right now that could be representing the USA boxing team for the Olympics?
We got a few. We got quite a few, man. I think we probably 5, 6 guys. Shout out to let's see, Alan Angulo. We got El Chapo. Yeah, Brittany's #1 right now. Brittany Parker. We got Chapo, Jose Camacho, Lil James, White Chocolate James, and Carlito. Yeah, we call her Little Clarissa Shields. Her name is Kira. She ain't fought yet, but she's mean. She's vicious. She only been boxing for like 3-4 months, and she already got that. She just want to go in here and get you. She tough. She beat the other boys up. And who we forgetting? I don't want to forget nobody. Lil Reno. Reno is nice too. Reno and Lil Trevin.
Now, Bo yesterday at the press conference, he mentioned a young buck that said he's going to be the future Terence Crawford. Who was that kid? Drop the knowledge on him.
I think he's talking about Young Buck.
Young Buck? Which?
I think he's talking about his son.
It was his son?
Yeah, his son is a wrestler.
For real?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He said he's going to be the future Terence Crawford.
Yeah. His son's a wrestler.
Oh, you
right?
talking about his son?
Yeah,
He's a beast. He could box right now if he wanted to.
What do you like more, wrestling or boxing?
He's a wrestler. I don't know what he prefers, but he's a national champ wrestler. Yeah, blood wrestled at a time when he was younger. Yeah.
Now let me ask you this question. We know he's a switch hitter. Errol Spence is the big fighter, right? Everybody want to see it. He's a southpaw through and through. How would you advise Bud to face Errol Spence?
I'm not going to tell you that.
Flow, let him do his thing.
Because I know he's going to watch this video. What's up, EJ? EJ, all right, cool, dude. But, when we get in there, you know what it is. But it depends on what we come up with, our strategy, and then what Bud feel most comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a feel thing with him. I mean, how he feels he wants to go about it. And then we'll make the corner adjustments as we need to.
I mean, just as a trainer, let's take Bud and Errol out of it. As a trainer, if you had a guy that was a switch hitter, and this guy was predominantly this, or orthodox or southpaw, would you advise them to be the opposite when they go in? Just as a trainer.
No, not necessarily. I mean, people conventionally think that a southpaw has an advantage on a right-hander. But it's the same. It's the same advantage for the right-hander on the southpaw too. You just gotta be comfortable enough to do it. I think it's really a lot with the experience because left-handers always face right-handers, so they feel like they have an advantage. But I think a right-hander has the same. It's a mirror. You know what I mean to me. So I don't know. It just depends. It depends on your fighter and what kind of tools he got and what side he works better on. I mean, it's a lot of variables. That's just a real deep question.
Last question for me. Fight week. Terence Crawford, what does he do on a daily basis? I mean, training-wise, during fight week? Just a treadmill, jump rope?
Yeah, we just do things to get the last little pounds off. Just light work in the gym, going around, and I mean, it's the same, but it's much more tapered down. And it's just maintaining, staying sharp, and not overexerting yourself. I mean, 147 he makes pretty easy, so we don't have no problem, with weight or have to really drain them or wear them out or no shit to make weight. But it's just really to stay sharp. Saul is is the best fucking pad man in the world. He works with him.
I think the Mayweather gym will have something to say about that.
I don't care. We could do a taste test. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna tell you about Saul. Because he's humble. He ain't gonna really tell you all this shit, but I am. There's certain things that you do in fights, and I'm not taking nothing away from no other trainers and what they do. But Saul is doing things that you can do in fights. You know what I mean? You can do pad work and do 1,000 fucking punches, and you get in the fights, you see these guys throw 20 punches around. Now, where's that at?
Damn right.
Now you got Saul, who is the master pads work, okay? The master, the maestro, Mr. Miyagi over there, okay? And Bo too over there, but Bo left, so whatever. But it's more fight related pad work, and that's why I feel like, I got my guys, these my mentors, man. They the shit, and I'm glad to be here learning with them, learning from them.
This is my final question. With that being said, I've heard phrases where to get a switch and you hit them in between the switch. How much truth is that? And is that really?
You gotta know when to switch. You know what I mean? Like you gotta be at a safe distance to switch. You can't be. You know what I mean? I guess you could.
Because like you say, like you hit them in between their switch. So it's like,
Yeah, but you gotta be at a safe distance. You gotta know when to do it, when not to do it. Like you can't be in the middle of an exchange and want to switch your feet. I mean, that's just stupid. Like you gotta be intelligent. You gotta be intelligent about what you're doing. What'd you say?
Danny Jacobs and Triple G, he got caught coming out of his
Coming out of the switch. You just gotta. It's you know what I mean? It's just being smart.
It's be natural flow.
You gotta be natural. And as y'all know, Terrence is probably the smartest fighter active right now. So you think you're gonna get caught in the middle of a switch?
He started
He falls
very,
into-
very young. That's why.
he falls into
Right.
switches, and I think
Yeah, it's
that's
like-
the
yes,
interesting
natural.
thing where they tell you not to fall in, but he falls in and falls out perfect.
Look, it's a natural switch hitter. I mean, it's a natural thing. It's not nothing let's try to do this now. No, he's been doing that since he was young, and he's 1 years old? That's 20-something years. Shit. You're doing anything for 20 years, you're gonna do it great, right?
Thank you. Thank you, fellas.
All right.
Appreciate you guys.
Oh, no doubt.